Hi ladies and gentlemen, my name is Danny and I'm the one who created the project you're about to see. As you know, well, we live in the 21st century when information technologies are really high developed and the world seems to become more and more international, where different cultures collapse with each other. And it used to cause a lot of problems in the past, and it does cause a lot of problems right now in nowadays society. So that causes a lot of hot questions to discuss all over the world. I really wanted to share my experience of becoming tolerant and breaking the walls of your mind that are built up by the society you live in. So that's what my project is about, tolerance.
So hey, my name is Thor, and I am from Iceland.
My name is Rafael Nasir.
Good to meet you.
I'm Zoe and come from China.
My name is Aliona.
So my name is Brania.
I'm David Charlotte.
My name is Emily.
Hi, my name is Fiona.
Hector Campa.
Jeffrey Outlaw.
I'm John.
It's Juliana from Brazil.
My name's Kate.
I'm from Germany.
Noel.
Tomek Muzik.
So I'm making this video to be a part of the project that my friend Daniel is making.
Now I would like to share my opinions about the tolerance problems according to these questions.
So the first question is,
how could you define the meaning of tolerance?
For me, tolerance is an issue of respect.
It's about expectations.
When it comes to tolerance, it occurs to me these following words: patience, mercy, charity.
The ability to accept, experience, or survive something harmful or unpleasant.
Some people say that it is the price we pay for living in a free, pluralistic society.
So we live in a very globalized world. We come across people with very, very different worldviews, different opinions. Oftentimes these opinions can clash and cause conflicts. And what I think tolerance is basically the ability to overcome those conflicts by, well, basically via a personal commitment that we all have to basically make to treat others with respect.
No, people are different, thanks God, they are different.
And fundamentally, for me, tolerance is a process of celebrating difference, but also reaffirming equality in difference.
Mostly, I think it all sums up in this one quote by Angela Merkel, Chancellor of Germany. She said that tolerance means showing respect for other people's history, traditions, religion, and cultural identity. But let there be no misunderstanding. Tolerance does not mean anything goes. There must be zero tolerance towards all those who show no respect for the inalienable rights of the individual and who violate human rights.
Next question was a bit more personal.
According to your own experience, especially in your country, who is being treated intolerantly in nowadays society, and how would you explain that?
Many years ago, I think that would have been an easy question to answer. I think it's a lot more difficult now. I think the lines are a lot more blurred, whereas maybe 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago in the United States, we had overt racism and intolerance. We don't have that anymore.
Well, first I have to mention that I'm really glad that I live in countries where people have their human rights guaranteed. Because even now, in the 21st century, we can talk about countries where those rights aren't guaranteed for everyone, for every single citizen of a state.
There will always be inequality everywhere in the world, and it's like that in Iceland, of course, but we're a moderately tolerant culture, I think.
I think Britain is quite tolerable in comparison to many other countries.
especially in terms of kind of religion and sexuality, we are quite free to kind of to express ourselves.
I think that there is no one who can really say that he has never been treated intolerantly, but of course there are certain groups which face this intolerance far more often, especially or even in Germany, in a country which most people think of as a very tolerant and accepting country.
There are several groups that are treated intolerantly in Russia. The first one to my mind is foreigners.
Ethnic minorities.
Different skin color.
African, Latin, and Asian peoples are at times not tolerated by some of the white majority. However, I personally have not seen much of this. It is very generational. The younger generations are less prone to this type of behavior.
These days, I think foreign people, those kind of coming to England in order to work and to live, are probably targeted more than other people.
There are protests against them.
You know, some people in Britain are very patriotic, and you know they do get annoyed because they think that foreign people coming over to Britain are kind of taking their jobs and taking social benefits, which they think should first go to British people.
I see these almost every day. I hear people of different ages saying that these foreigners coming from certain countries, they're awful, they shouldn't be let into this country and so on. And this is some kind of habitual racism. Everyone knows that racism is a bad thing because everyone remembers Hitler and so on, but they don't really realize that they are treating someone maybe not as bad, but certainly in a horrible way too.
Although we like to believe we live in a post-racial society, there are still many ways in which we haven't achieved that ideal yet.
Most of the discrimination of the intolerance, it's mainly based off of ignorance.
People are quite against cultures they don't really know about. So, for example, in Europe overall, or in Central Europe where I come from, the huge question is, or the huge problem is about Muslims who come to Europe, you know, and the people are just scared, you know, of this culture, and mostly I think it's because they don't know much about it, or if they know something about it, it's mostly something negative.
Of course, there are some positions women are far less likely to reach, especially well paid.
Of course, we have women's rights, and that means rights for women of all socioeconomic statuses. It doesn't just mean making sure that women in business offices working in big companies get paid the same amount. It means that women from low-income settings who may have to work several jobs, it means that they have similar protections under the law. It means that they have access to good child care services, good governmental support services. And so, again, that's something that we're looking at.
Another group of people who are treated intolerantly in Russia are people from sexual minorities.
LGBT people.
The lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community.
People from a different sexual orientation tend to be so discriminated by straight guys. And here it's also a very religious country. So all people and some people think that being gay is against God.
In Brazil, it's pretty normal to see guys kissing and having a relationship on the streets, for example. Even so, I can tell you that in my company we have a couple of guys, for example.
What's the idea of pretending to be someone else? If you like boys and you're a boy yourself, what's wrong with that? Why should you pretend to be heterosexual when you're not actually?
You can know someone's personality after having just one look at him. People often forget about it.
No intolerance is right.
Have you ever faced intolerant attitude towards yourself? No.
I think everybody has been. In my case, I'm a gay boy, so I have faced intolerance when I was a kid. Everyone insulted me and they threatened me so bad just because I was like this guy that was so different, that doesn't like to play soccer, that doesn't go in that don't go out with girls and stuff like that, just like the weirdo boy.
I am gay. So far I have not suffered discrimination or intolerance in that aspect. Although sooner or later I might have to face that, because of course not everyone is going to be tolerant about it.
My boyfriend and me are not afraid to show that we are gay, but that sometimes leads into some kind of nasty situations.
I remember a couple of times when I was treated like I'm stupid and that I shouldn't have my own point of view just because I'm a woman.
Personally, I have never really experienced being kind of intolerated. It's unfortunate, but I think if you are British and you are white and you're straight and educated, things are perhaps easier.
We have a problem of bullying at school like other countries might have.
When I was at college, some people looked at me all the time and hated me. I don't know why. Maybe because I was not good enough for them.
You don't know how it feels, being different until you experience it yourself.
I don't care about what people can say about me because I think I'm good the way I am.
The last question is more about future, like what will happen in the future if the society is able to make another step forward when it comes to tolerance and respect, or if the society or races will destroy each other. Well, I don't want to be that pessimistic. I really hope that the things will get better.
Change is always difficult. It always takes a lot of time. I think that educating people from a young age is very important. Kids aren't born with a certain opinion of way to think. They are taught how to think that.
My opinion here is I think a lot of the mechanisms are already in place to help people be more tolerant and cut down on intolerance and prejudice. I believe education is the key. We can probably help speed up this process of acceptance, but the reality is that it's happening naturally.
If we look back into history, we can see that the society have already done some steps forward, and we live in a world which is more tolerant and respectful.
Lots of people see differences as something bad and not as something kind of enriching for the world, which it is.
So long as we have policies and laws in place which discriminate against minority groups, it's still going to be a problem. We're still going to need to work on that too. It's hard for me to hear people express very strong views about other people, about religious, ethnic, or sexual minorities, and then at the end of the conversation to say to me, oh, but I've never really met a person like that. And this always makes me think to myself, if you haven't met a person like that, how can you have any idea what a person like that is like in real life?
Always think about how you would like to be treated.
Spread some kindness.
Put yourself in other shoes.
Let's just try to fill up the world with our everlasting love.
And basically, we don't have anybody on this earth who's gonna step in and tell us who's allowed to be free and have liberty and who isn't. We basically have to grant that to each other, to one another. And so my argument would be that regardless of differences and regardless of potential conflicts between people, we have to respect one another, because otherwise no one can have what they want and the freedom that they deserve. So that's basically, I think that basically about sums it up.